All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division. Have very good news in that Shakur Stevenson may very well be the mandatory for Devin Haney'S WBO title next, a fight that we may be able to get next instead of the Vasily Lomachenko fight. And it was in large part because of a very intelligent move that he made in the before the Robson Conceição fight. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're in the 135-pound division. Shakur Stevenson may have done just something very, very intelligent and forced a fight with Devin Haney next because he is the WBO super champion, despite having lost his titles at 130 pounds because of a very smart decision that he made. Also adds a lot of other interesting antidotal pressure to Devin Haney to make that fight next over any other fight. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter, please make sure you hit that like button. If you feel like supporting the channel, there is a super thanks button down there where you can donate towards supporting the channel. Would be greatly appreciated. So let's get into this. All right, so Shakur Stevenson just fought this last Friday night, had a fight against Robson Conceição and beat Robson Conceição by unanimous decision. However, before that fight, he vacated his belts or relinquished his belts after he failed to make weight the first time when he was weighing in for the fight. Now, that is a very, very important distinction. There were a lot of people out saying, no, he got stripped. And I said in the video, no, he didn't. He relinquished it. And I think it's important to use the right word because you never know what the ramifications of that are. However, now we know the ramifications of it according to the WBO and their rule book, which is WBO Section 14 called Super Champions. Okay? Now, a super champion is, without reading the rules, it is somebody that is a special designation for the WBO to a champion in any weight division. And it puts certain privileges on that fighter. And the specific privileges that I'm speaking of, because I won't go into a lot of it, right? But privileges associated with it is that a champion may recommend that the champion will be eligible or may be able, to be Section 2 said eligibility to be considered for designation as a mandatory challenger in the higher or lower division. If requested by the super champion, the championship committee may designate the super champion as the mandatory challenger for immediate higher or lower division. So as the super champion in the WBO, he can either go down to 130 pounds and challenge for the 130-pound belt there, petition them to challenge and become the mandatory for the WBO at 126, or he can move up and challenge for the WBO belt, request that they name him mandatory for the WBO belt at 135 pounds. So what is the what is the distinction of dropped versus relinquished? And that is in section, again, WBO rules, section 14, E, section 14E, 2. Section 14, 1F. And it says that the loss of privileges, all WBA's, all super champions privileges referred to in this section shall be terminated in the event. And this is the important one. The super champ violates any of the WBO rules or regulations or violates the WBO regulations of world championship contests. Now, why is it important that he did not miss weight, that he did not get stripped, that he relinquished it? He did not break any rules. Because the rules, and I won't go and read the rules, but I guarantee you go read the rules. The rules say if you miss weight, that's going to be a violation of the rules. And that's why you get stripped of your belt. However, in the case of every sanctioned body, you get 2 chances. You have the original one, and then you get 2 hours in the case of the WBO, you get 2 hours to make weight again. So instead of getting on the scale and missing weight and violating their rules, he says, I relinquish the belt. I quit. Here, you can have your belt back. And I'm going to move up, and says I'm going to move up in weight. So that prevents them under these rules from taking away his WBO super champion status, because another rule in here is that you can, if you vacate your title for the WBO, you still maintain your WBO super champion status when you go to up to the next weight class, right? Because if you stayed at the weight class below, how could you become the mandatory in the weight class above? So what does that mean for Devin Haney? That means that Shakur Stevenson, as long as he petitions the WBA, will more than likely be the WBO mandatory for Devin Haney, which Bob Arum said was coming up next, and something that he thought the WBO was going to give Vasily Lomachenko. But since Shakur Stevenson is the WBO super champion, that means that he gets to move ahead of Vasily Lomachenko in that division, because at one point in time, Vasily Lomachenko was a WBO super champion. Only problem was he lost to Teofimo Lopez, so he's no longer the super champion. So that puts Shakur Stevenson number 1 in line for the Devin Haney fight. Moreover, it puts Shakur Stevenson over Gervonta Davis for a fight with Devin Haney, because Gervonta Davis, in the words of Devin Haney, has a rinky-dink belt. He has a Mickey Mouse belt. He does not have a major championship belt, and he's not his mandatory. So in this particular instance, unification trumping mandatory doesn't apply, and Devin Haney would, by custom, if nothing else, need to fight Shakur Stevenson first. And also, Shakur Stevenson's in the same promotional company, so an easier fight to make all the way around. And now, will this happen? Not sure. Obviously, Bob Arum was saying that he wanted the fight to take place between Vasily Lomachenko and Devin Haney. But if Shakur Stevenson really presses it and requests that Bob Arum make that request, then hey man, that fight very well may pop up next for Devin Haney. And then after that, you would more than likely get Shakur Stevenson versus Vasily Lomachenko. Because after watching that fight with Shakur Stevenson, I'm telling you, I think that's a bad matchup for Devin Haney. But we'll see what happens. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And again, like I said, please remember that words matter. And the distinction between him relinquishing the belt and Shakur Stevenson getting stripped of the belt could very well have meaning down the line, and apparently does. So with that, let me know what you think in the comment section. And I'm out. Deuces.